So a couple days ago, I found a stick. And in all honesty, it's a really nice stick. And while I was sitting there looking at it, I thought to myself, that could be a wizard staff. So I brought it home. And yeah, that was 2 years ago. Don't know what happened. Just never got around to it. Now, this is going to be a really simple build. All that's really required in it is some sandpaper, maybe some rags or paper towels, and a finish. The only thing that I would suggest is cleaning your stuff beforehand, because if you're getting fresh driftwood, you have no idea what's living in there. Obviously, this one's been sitting here for a couple years, so if there's any sea creatures in it, they're long gone or dead. Okay, so to start this out, I had to cut off this end. As you see, there's a large crack that comes up from the bottom. It looks really good, but I'm pretty sure that'll definitely become an issue down the road. I was a little bit worried that it was going to be too short of cutting that off, but I think it's a pretty good height. Next time I might want it a little bit taller, but that's just my preference. So the way I want to start this out is by using 150 grit sandpaper. This is just to break down some of the hard edges that was along the driftwood, but regardless, driftwood in general is pretty smooth. Kind of the whole reason people like it. But this definitely did have some pieces that were rough or just about to chip off, and that's what I was trying to hit here. Okay, so you might be asking yourself, why am I making a wizard? I've always been interested in the medieval fantasy, just sort of reenactments, role-playing. I've always been into Dungeons and Dragons, and I think recently I've wanted to get into, LARP. Really not sure where to go with that yet, but I'm sure there's something in my area that, good start. They might be asking, why driftwood? As you'll see in future videos, along with this one, I think driftwood just has a natural characteristic that looks good for anything. Absolutely anything. I was lucky to find this one. And, that wasn't just for show at the beginning. Like, I did find that, I think, 2.5 years ago after Hurricane Sally. And it really started, this fire in me to start making this stuff and, maybe one day share it. So some of you might have seen, other wizard staffs online where, people put beads and, gems, stones, maybe even animal bones. And there's nothing wrong with that. But my inspiration has always come from Gandalf in the first Lord of the Rings movies. And that is literally, here, there's going to be a picture up. That is literally an upside down tree. Its roots attached to the stem of a tree. That's all it is. And I've always loved that aesthetic. That's why driftwood is just such a choice material. Because a lot of times you can find whole root systems that are hardened and weathered and just look amazing. Next, we're going to go on to, I believe this was 400 or 600 grit sandpaper. That's just to smooth it out. Now at this point, I'm just going to use a finish. What I used was a simple Danish oil finish, just to seal it. I just applied it to a paper towel. You could do it with a rag or maybe even a sponge. I'm not entirely sure. Haven't tried that yet. Maybe next time. But yeah, just had to get a good coat over the entirety of the staff. But as you can see, there is quite a few pits going along it. Really as a part of the character. Having all these really neat pitting going along the staff. But all I really had to do for that was take a few Q-tips, dip them in a small amount of the Danish oil, and then I just dabbed into each individual pocket, and I did that for every crack also, just to really let it get in there and soak in. Really, that's it. Here's the final product. To me, it turned out really good. As you can see, a lot of the character came out with the oil, and I'm actually really happy with the way this turned out. Now, you might be wondering, what is my plan for this? Well, like I said at the beginning of the video, I want to get into medieval role-playing. Medieval fantasy role-playing, to be exact. I have always loved watching the battles and the role-playing videos online, and I really want to get into that. Biggest problem I have, though, is my location in Alabama isn't really a great spot for this. So hopefully in the surrounding cities, maybe I can find a group to get with, but we'll see. Really, the staff is sort of the start of this, just to give me the starting point. But I'm hoping that, in the next or in future videos, you'll be seeing me making new costume gear, new outfit, new equipment, just to sort of match what I think is a really good staff. That's it for now. See you in the next video.